It's sprint qualifying time, slightly shorter than the normal Grand Prix qualifying, but today will determine who starts on pole for the sprint to come. And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow. Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Piastri, Max Verstappen, and Sainz. Hadjar, Antonelli, Russell, and Pierre Gasly. Albon, Behrman, Liam Lawson and Alonso, Hülkenberg, Tremnitz, Arvid Lindblad and Gabriel Bortoleto, Perez, Stroll, Bottas, Beganovic, Colapinto and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me in the commentary box, my old friend, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
Always extra nerves at the start of the race, Gruffy. Probably at the start of the race, it's where your heart rate's at its highest in anticipation. And you've got to be in the right mindset. You've got to be thinking there inside the car, what can go right? How can I be opportunistic rather than what can go wrong? And how do I protect my position? Look forward and stay positive. It's easy to say, very hard to do when you're in that position.
Okay, this is going to take a monumental effort from you. I need you to push incredibly hard if we're going to get a good result today. Let's go and make it happen. We're accumulating somewhere on the MGUK. To manage this, we're going to need to lower our ERS deployment mode. Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Understood, copy that. Okay, so overtake is active. Overtake mode active. You're going to get more power from the hybrid system. You know how it works. Just use boost on the next long straight to get your way past.
Well, that's an end to the sprint action. Next up, we'll set the grid for the Grand Prix. So we'll see you next time. As night falls in Singapore, the track starts to warm up, and it'll be red hot by the time we find out who's on pole for tomorrow's race. Time to set the grid then. Welcome along to qualifying here in Singapore. Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Antonelli, Max Verstappen and Russell, Sainz, Hadjar, Behrman and Alex Albon, Alonso, Hülkenberg, Esteban Ocon and Leclerc, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Lance Stroll and Arvid Lindblad, Tremnitz, Gasly, Bottas, Beganovic, Lawson and Sergio Perez completes our grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. Well, they've done so well this year, the 12th team. But that means that next year could be that little bit tougher. Because as we all know, the better you do, the higher you finish in the championship, the less development time in the wind tunnel you get the following season.
Very good, Crofty, very good. And that's exactly true. You know, they'll have a lot more time than teams that have done better than them in the championship, and it all adds up. That extra time you can spend in the wind tunnel, that's performance, and the top teams would be loving, wishing that they had that time, but it goes to this team. It hasn't been easy for them, like you say, but there is that silver lining.
Right, back of the grid. I mean, there is literally only one direction we can go from here, so try and move forward and see if we can get something out of it. Okay, we're monitoring somewhere on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Overtake mode active. Overtake active. You've got more power now from the hybrid system. Use boost on the next long straight to get past. Accumulating somewhere on the MGUK. To manage this, we're going to need to lower our ERS deployment mode. Okay, overtake enabled, overtake enabled. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 2.4 seconds. We're going to box this lap, push hard on the in-lap. Okay, so Tim is coming in for his stop now. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 15.7 seconds. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.7 seconds. The car behind you's just come in for the hard tyres. Car behind, running hard tyres. Box now, please. Box this lap. Okay, off we go, back into the race. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. managing your tyres, manage your tyres. And you've got P13, P13. Ocon is ahead of you. Okay, the gap is less than a second. Okay, Hulkenberg's behind you now. Our gap to first place, 29.2 seconds. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap. Final lap, push, push. So we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes. Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And it's victory for Andrea Kimi Antonelli. What a win!
Well, it all came good in the end for them, but it wasn't an easy start. Not the most straightforward of days, but I think it shows great strength in an athlete as a driver when you can overcome a day like this and walk away still with a victory.
What a day it's been for Formula One, and what a day it's been for these 3 drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. A young man with a big future. Today's a winner. Well done, Kimi Antonelli. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Boss, we need your attention on something, please. I've heard back about a positive outcome on this one. Boss, we've got interest. There's a sponsor looking to work with us.
Hey, Chief. We have a part or two ready for development because they've finished research. Let's get that in motion, shall we? Head to engineering for more info.